the first episode. It's the spinoff from the original Power series, which lasted 6 seasons. It was on the air 6 seasons. Now this Power Book 2, it stars Mary J. Blige and Michael Rainey Jr., who plays the son from Power. His name is Tariq. And it premiered last Sunday, depending on when you listen to this. Now, a special video teaser for the first 4 planned spinoffs in the broadened Power universe was released by means of the Starz app. The upcoming series picks up soon after the earth-shattering occasions of Power as Tariq St. Patrick, played by Rainey Jr., grappled with a brand new world order of his father being dead, and his mom, Tasha, played by Noone, dealing with charges for actually murdering ghosts. Now her son is devoted to this plan, per the official run-through, not to mention his academic rigors of being led into an Ivy League university. Tariq, he's attending it now, and he's taking up canonical studies. Now, truly on his own, for the first time in his life, Tariq is required to split his time between school and hustling to pay for Davis McLean, who is Method Man of Cliff, because Cliff is playing a actual mastering attorney. Now, the fame-hungry defense attorney, played by Method Man, who is Tasha's only hope of getting out of jail and getting away with the prosecution by Cooper Sacks and Tamika, who are the lawyers right here. Now, with no better options, Tariq turned to the familiar drug game that he was, currently in, entangling himself with an aggressive family, actually, headed by Monet Stewart to Jada, which is actually played by Mary J. Blige. So he gets caught up with this family. His family's pretty ruthless, led by Mary J. Blige. It's been at it for a longer time than him, and probably around the same time that his late father was involved with the dope game. Now, as Tariq tries to balance his drug operation with his grades, love life, and family, he finds out that the only way to prevent the very same fate of his father satisfied is to become him. So basically what we're looking at is a show where Tariq is basically trying to become Ghost because of who he gets involved with and what he has to do to keep his mother out of jail, or to try to get the lawyer, to try to get the money up to get the lawyer and beat the case. Now, the first thing that we should know within this piece is rather simple, is the title, which is called Exceeding Expectations. Now, this doesn't state too much. However, it does offer up a minimum of a small means to some of what the story is going to be for the instant future or the immediate future. Now, it could be a reference to Tariq's development in school as he inches ever better to getting that inheritance. Because remember, in Power, the series, he was told that the only way to get his inheritance is that he completes a 4-year degree at a college. Or it could be, the title, Exceeding Expectations, could be a reference to how he is doing better than Monet expected within the drug trade. So the unexpected thing is that here's this kid, his parents were drug dealers. They winded up, one's being murdered, the mother's going to jail for murdering him, and then he gets involved with another family inadvertently. So whatever he was trying to get out of and to get away from, he smack dab right back in the middle. Now, one of the most important things to acknowledge at the moment is rather simple. Tariq is his dad's boy. Even if he is the individual who did shoot ghosts, he still learned something from him, not to mention his mom's mentors. He remains in a perfect spot to be able to enter into the drug game. He's surrounded by students with no real concept of money, and likewise trainees with a high degree of interest in spending it. Money, that is. Now, this more than likely is going to open the door for him to be able to do virtually whatever he wants in order to get the money. Eventually, however, the concept of Tariq smooth sailing his way to moneying his mom's defense simply feels like it's going to be too good to be true. I mean, there are going to be bumps in the road, and we got to be, ready for it. Now, so far, the first episode came out, and it's a pretty good start. No ghosts in sight. Tariq has probably a beginning love triangle because the guy he was supposed to be tutoring, his sister, was liking him. You know what I'm saying? And he brought him to a house party, and she caught eyes on him, and she's liking him. Which is going to, in a way, kind of trap him in a way, because when she starts liking him, and Mary J. Blige, who's a mother, starts to see that, she may use that to wrench down on him, to pull him harder into the dope game. Because she is a ruthless female dope dealer, as we're told. Now, according to Courtney Kemp, the writer of Power, and 50 Cent, Ghost will be similar. Power Book 2, Ghost, it'll be similar to the initial Power, and will likewise consist of some familiar faces. So she said, there are some people from the original show, along with a bunch of brand new characters. The cast of Power Book 2 includes some familiar faces from the original Power, as well as some amazing brand new ones. You got Mary J. Blige as Monet. She's an R&B legend. Mary J., she revealed she had actually signed up to appear in Power Book 2 Ghost in July during a look at, the Television's Critics Association. Now, she informed the audience, this is most likely going to be the most interesting thing that will happen to me this year. And she wishes to thank Courtney Kemp and 50 Cent for beginning the discussion, beginning the road with her. She says that she has actually had a chance to know a lot of people like Tasha, and know a lot of people like Ghost. And she's actually said she's dated many dudes like Ghost. And therefore, she can relate to the character of who she's playing, as Monet. And overall, she's grateful to be a part of it. Now, the writer Courtney Kemp actually said that for Mary's character, she utilized all the power and presence of the Scarlet to interact how this is a lady who is amazing and special in her capabilities. She's smart, savvy, and strategic, just like Ghost was. So what Courtney is actually trying to do is, in a way, we can assume that what she's trying to do is create a female Ghost in Mary J. Blige, because she's just as ruthless as Ghost was. So now, with the extraction of Ghost, who many fans love and really didn't feel like it could go on without Ghost, what we see the creator trying to do is instill Ghost, but in a female version. So this might piss a lot of people off, but it might, prove to be interesting. So we just need to check out the next episodes to come, because she's smart, savvy, and strategic, just like Ghost was. So what we saw in the first episode, and it'll be going on, but we see the Power universe is picking up simply days after he fell from that balcony and he was shot. And basically what we're seeing is we're following Tariq as he navigates through his new life now. He's a college guy now, right? So in which his desire to share his daddy's traditions, comes up against the mounting pressure to conserve his household now. Because now he's seeing now that when he extracted his daddy out, took him off the chessboard, right? Now he got to be and do what his daddy did. So it's a growing up story, right? So we may see some moments where, Tariq is regretting what he did, because now he has to grow up. He's got to pay bills. He's got to do adult things, and he probably wasn't ready for that. Plus, he didn't have the wherewithal and the street, the street cred, and he didn't have the power on the street like his father did. So now he's also got to develop that, and he may very well regret taking his daddy off that board. In addition, the storyline of Tariq hating his, the story of Tariq hating his father enough to eliminate him is actually not credible. They had some differences, and yes, his father lied to him several times, right? But hatred to the point of wishing to kill his father was actually not developed. Even though you do have a tradition with some of the characters in the book where Ghost killed his father, allegedly. Kanan, played by 50 Cent, killed his son. And then we come to this, and it could be questionable whether or not Tariq actually did that. Now, Ghost did whatever he might to offer his family, and now his child kills him. It's kind of insane. Now, it would be fantastic to see James in his new role in politics and still behind the scenes carrying out criminal activities. Now, James and Angela is the factor that most people enjoyed in the actual series Power. Now, a lot of people are saying, please just bring them back. Just find a way to creatively bring them back. A minimum of James, Ghost, Tasha, and Tariq are not leads. So some people are saying that the storyline right now is just seeming to waver. They're not strong enough to take aggressive actions, and the story is just kind of sitting there, right? Now, it all remains to be seen in this new chapter of Power Book 2. Now, some of the cast and characters: Michael Rainey Jr., as Tariq St. Patrick, Notori Norton as Tasha St. Patrick, then you got Mary J. Blige as Monet, who is seeming to have the strength of Ghost, just in a female form. Now, Technique Male as Davis McLean, or Method Man as Davis McLean, Daniel Bellamy as Ezekiel, Zeke Cross, Gianni Paolo as Braden Weston, Justin McManus as Jabari Reynolds, Latoya Tenito as Diana Tajita, Lavelle Adam Gray as Drew Tajita, the whole family, Melanie Labard as Carrie Milgram, Paige Hurd as Lauren, Quincy Tyler Bernstein as Tamika Washington, Shane Johnson as Cooper Sachs, Woody McLean as Stick Tajita, Sherry Psalm as Paula Matarazzo, and then a recurring role with Shalene Ortiz as Danilo Ramirez. So basically, if you missed the premiere of Power Book 2, what you miss is Tariq now adjusting to a college setting, a college life. He's often late to class. He hadn't got that down at all yet. So every time you look, he's running from dorm to dorm, or running from building to building, telling all of the teachers that he's sorry he late. So you got a lot of that going on. Pretty much every fifth scene, you got him running to this appointment and that appointment. Him trying to get another lawyer for his mother, because she did fire the one who was actually trying to give her the deal. And then you got a little bit more pressure coming in from the prosecutors, because they're saying that she's not tall enough to have shot the gun. So now they're cornering her, and they're telling her that basically, she could be lying. But, that's proven fatal to a case by them seeing that she's not tall enough to shoot the gun. So now she's got to come up with a different story. And spoiler alert, what she told when she was under pressure in court, under the guise of perjury, was that Tommy did it. So that's one of the spoilers. They're bringing Tommy into the situation,